on to a story that I'm still up in the air about how I'm gonna respond.
The room goes dead silent. Not awkward silence, but that heavy kind that presses on your chest and makes your stomach drop. Funky's face barely moves, but his whole energy shifts instantly. His shoulders stiffen, his eyes narrow, and when he speaks again, this stops sounding like commentary and starts feeling like truth finally breaking loose. Funky makes one thing clear. Tamar knows how to strike the match, then step back just far enough to avoid the flames. He doesn't rush to name names, and honestly, he doesn't need to.
You do just enough that when somebody calls you on it, then you can dip your hands back and be like, I didn't.
The tension just hangs there, thick and uncomfortable, until he lets the silence talk for him. Then suddenly snap. You was a bold-faced, bald-headed liar. Every word lands heavy, packed with frustration and betrayal. This isn't analysis anymore. This is personal, raw, and stripped of any filter. Funky says straight up he never wanted to be part of that night. He didn't ask to be at that house, didn't agree with the setup, and definitely didn't plan to stay. He says he had zero interest in being part of a situation where a car ride ended with Tamar sitting on someone else's lap. That moment was the line. The exact second he decided to walk away for good. Viewers instantly rewind, pause, replay, breaking down every syllable.
DC's and his homeboy, okay? Now, this is the third time that me and you have been hanging out, and out of nowhere, here comes Mandizis, okay?
And when the name finally comes out, it's not hinted, not softened, not danced around. Funky explains exactly why he refused to go upstairs and why he left instead. One breath and everything changes. The story fractures fast. What started as Tamar appearing confused in a short interview suddenly turns into a full-scale battlefield of side-eye and implication. Funky says he watched Tamar and Mendices kissing in the backseat of the car, and then that was the moment his gut told him something wasn't right. That's when he checked out completely. And when Tamar went upstairs, Funky says she wasn't alone, a detail that flips the entire narrative on its head. Within hours, timelines explode. Threads fill with panic-driven speculation, reckless assumptions, and unverified claims flying around like facts. Then one word starts circulating quietly. Arrested. No proof. No statement. No correction. Just silence. And that silence hits louder than any denial ever could.
I say, y'all, I really don't want to go. I drive my car over the sauce. By the time I get the sauce, Zoe calls and says, Tamar said, just leave your car at her house and we're gonna go to V12. I didn't even want to go. You were saying, let's go out and continue to hang for your birthday, or it's your birthday, let's hang. But to create this narrative.
If Yandy really broke down emotionally after what Funky revealed and that reaction was genuine, one question refuses to go away. What is Mendices holding back? And what happens when rumors move faster than truth? You can see it written all over Funky's face. He leans back, not relaxed, locked in. He's holding something, and it shows. Then he says, I'm going to respond to Tamar. And that pause says everything. That's the last second of restraint before the pressure breaks. Courtesy disappears fast. First irritation, then focus, then something uncomfortably close to confession.
After her and Mendices got through kissing in the back of that goddamn car, I figured they wanted to be up there privately. That is why when we got dropped off at Tamar's house, I did not go upstairs. I got in my damn car and went home because you was sitting on his lap in that goddamn Uber and y'all ass was kissing, okay? And the shit made me damn uncomfortable.
Funky admits from the jump he didn't even want to address Tamar at all. Not fear, control. Because once he spoke, there was no pulling it back. He makes it clear. He's not guessing, not speculating, not piecing together rumors. He was there. He saw it unfold. He stayed quiet until he felt pushed into the corner. That night, Tamar later described as confusing. Funky shuts that down completely. She said she went to a friend's birthday party, came home, washed her face, and everything faded. Funky doesn't buy that. Not for 1 second.
It's Mendices and his best friend, because they was the ones who went upstairs with you. Now, I don't know whether they...
Without softening his tone, he calls it out. You do just enough, he says. Enough to spark chaos, then retreat and claim innocence when questions come. He accuses Tamar of being calculated, not careless. This isn't media frustration anymore. It's irritation from someone who feels used. Viewers caught it instantly. The comments all echoed the same thing. Funky wasn't performing. He was correcting the record. The exhaustion in his voice says it all. He walks through the night as lived experience, not gossip. And he makes one thing crystal clear. Tamar was never hosting anything for him. That whole story about her throwing a celebration and being done wrong later, Funky calls it fiction. He says Tamar hit him up for one thing only, finding somewhere to eat. Zoe was with her. Then suddenly, Mendices and his people popped up. And Funky says this wasn't random. He makes it clear this wasn't the first time Mendices appeared when Tamar was around. It was the third time. It was just you, me, and Zoe, he recalls. And then here comes Mendices. No explanation needed. The dots connect themselves. Funky explains how Mendices kept showing up unannounced during outings with Tamar. What starts as coincidence turns suspicious real fast. Suspicion becomes motive, and motive turns into anger. Then comes the club. Tamar pushes Funky to leave his car and ride with them to V12. He didn't want to go, and he said that clearly. But Tamar pushed the night forward anyway. That's when everything shifted. After the club, they ended up back at Tamar's house. Funky never went inside, and he's clear why. He says Tamar and Mendices were kissing in the back seat. Not just close. She was sitting on his lap. That crossed the line. That's why he walked away. No confusion, no hesitation. And when the clip ends, the silence hits hard, heavy, uncomfortable, final. Because at that point, this isn't rumor. It's witnessed behavior. Funky says he stepped back because they wanted privacy. No sarcasm, no theatrics. I figured they wanted to be alone, he says. And that's when the internet splits, clean down the middle. Some fans demand Tamar explain herself. Others call on Yandy to speak. Then things take a darker turn. People start wondering if this goes beyond cheating, if the health rumors are about to spiral into something irreversible. Then Funky drops another line that detonates everything. He doesn't hint, he states it flat. If anyone knows what happened to Tamar's teeth, he says, it's Mendices and his best friend. Because according to Funky, they followed her upstairs. He doesn't accuse, he doesn't confirm, but the implication alone explodes online. Words like incident, injury, and cover-up flood timelines. Funky and Mendices trend side by side. One side says Funky is finally telling the truth. The other says he's reckless. But the outcome stays the same. Silence. Silence from Tamar. Silence from Mendices. And in this climate, silence doesn't read as restraint. It reads as guilt. Funky says he never wanted this public. He told Tamar to leave him alone. She didn't. So now he says, let's be like this. His voice tightens. Controlled, not emotional. When he mentions Yandy, frustration slips through. The only person who did wrong here is Yandy, he says, then stops. No explanation, no follow-up. By then, viewers are rebuilding the timeline live. The health scare, cryptic comments, waking up hurt, refusing help, the silence, Funky's account of who went upstairs. And beneath it all, old whispers resurface. Rumors that had been floating quietly now feel impossible to ignore. Nothing proven, nothing confirmed. But speculation doesn't need proof anymore. It needs speed. Funky never says certain words, but viewers do. In captions, edits, and clips, spreading faster than facts ever could. Suddenly the focus shifts. It's not even about the husband anymore. The question gets darker. Is silence protecting something much bigger? One of the coldest moments comes when Funky shrugs and says, "Call me messy, I'll be that." It doesn't sound bold. It sounds resigned, like someone ready to pay the cost of speaking. By the time reaction videos flood timelines, the damage is done. Mendices' name trends next to heavy words, all without confirmation. No one shuts it down, and perception takes over. Now every eye turns to Yandy. If the rumors aren't true, her silence looks controlled. If betrayal is real, that silence looks shattered. Because once she speaks, everything changes. This doesn't explode all at once. It creeps in, powered by what never gets said. Funky drops fragments, names, movements, moments. Viewers do the rest. He doesn't speak vaguely. He gives specifics. Being asked to ditch his car, suggesting Ruth's Chris, ending up back at Tamar's house. These aren't rumors. They're coordinates. And if Funky's timeline holds, one question won't go away. What else was left out of Tamar's version? She called that night confusing. Funky calls it curated, not unclear, shaped. And that accusation cuts deeper than any insult. This ain't confusion, he says. This is control. There's no humor in his voice, just disbelief and resentment. He feels used, turned into a background character in a storyline he never agreed to. Funky doesn't frame Tamar as lost. He frames her as intentional, stirring chaos and watching it grow. And then comes the line that flips everything. The only person done wrong here is Yandy. That silence afterward says everything. Sympathy grows, but sympathy isn't resolution. Funky repeats the detail no one wants to face. Tamar was not alone. Upstairs, Mendices and his friend went in with her. What followed was never explained. Instead, the internet got fragments. Funky's testimony, Tamar's vague interview, references to blood and confusion. Viewers filled the gaps. And that's what makes it dangerous. Because Funky doesn't sound unhinged. He sounds steady, deliberate, like a witness, not a clout chaser. He lays out the night step by step. Ruth's Chris, Sauce, Buckhead, V12, Tamar's house. The story never changes. And his central claim stays locked. Tamar didn't get betrayed by a friend. She curated a performance and let him burn. No denials, no corrections, no statements. In the absence of facts, detail becomes credibility. Patterns emerge, and Funky keeps implying the same thing. If anyone knows what happened upstairs, it's the two men who followed her. Tamar spoke publicly about injury and blood, but never the cause. Funky calls that choreography, not confusion. What started as cheating rumors turns heavier. Funky admits this dynamic didn't start that night. He just didn't speak on it before. That silence cost him. Tamar became the victim. Funky became the villain. Now he's responding, not to start chaos, but to end the performance. By the time he finishes, it's clear. This wasn't petty. This was the collapse of an illusion. And in this era, silence becomes the story. If you made it this far, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose silence speaks the loudest here? Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.